Hi everyone, this is Deborah. Tonight I'm going to talk about those of you who are scared to get your back operated on, or your hip, or your shoulder. I've had 2 of those surgeries and I consider them pretty successful. My back was operated on in 2009. And I've done a lot of videos about this. I had a spinal fusion and a discectomy and a laminectomy. Where I got at in my life, where I knew I had to have this, is when I couldn't stand the pain anymore. And that should be your guiding marker there, okay? I was very, very scared. Very scared. But as all the preparations for that surgery was happening, I happened to notice that my doctor was on the cover of the best doctors in Northern Virginia. He was voted the best. And he was a neurosurgeon and I guess he was a neurosurgeon and an orthopedic surgeon, yeah. Because my mom had told me, make sure you get one that's a neurosurgeon too. My pain level was like at 8 all the time. And then after I had the operation, it has stayed down to a 3. If I overdo it, it'll go to maybe a 6. So I have to be very careful not to carry things that are too heavy. So if you are hesitant about having that operation, that should be your marker. If your standard of living or your quality of life has been so deteriorated that you can't do anything, that should be when you have it. When I had my right hip done, that was also the same scenario. When the pain was just unrelenting. You know, the doctor took one look at my x-ray and says, oh yeah, it's bad. You know, that's when you go and have the surgery. But I talked to someone tonight who's was very, very scared to have the surgery. And I get it. For someone to cut into your body with all of the, you know, the bad things that could happen, you've got to play the odds a little bit, you know. And I did play the odds, and I came out fine. I came out okay. Yeah, I was supposed to have a cervical anterior fusion. That's when they go in through here and fuse a couple of your vertebrae. But you do get limited motion, if you know what I'm saying. Well, I already have limited motion. So I wanted to talk about all of my car accidents. My first one was when I was 16. I remember saying to my mother that very same day that I was in this accident, I said, Mom, nothing ever exciting happens to me. And me and my sister, who's now gone, passed, we were on the roof getting a suntan. And then one of my boyfriends came and picked me up, and my mom wanted a 6-pack of Dr. Pepper. So we took a roundabout trip, and he was going over this hill. Every time we'd go on a date, we'd go over this hill, and it would give us a little bit of a lift. Well, this time he was in a brand new car from his dad's dealership, and we flew 50 feet in the air, even with the tops of the trees, and came down. And I went through the windshield, and all the Dr. Pepper bottles broke all over me, and I had my head split open from here to here. And you can, the plastic surgeon who sewed me up right here, you can't even tell. I don't think you could even see it anymore. He did such a great job. But when I was on the operating table, I begged them not to cut my hair because my hair was so beautiful. And so, because I was 16, so they just cut this little patch like this so I could wear my hair at the side and pull it over, which is what I did. And I also had, my arm has got lots of scars here from the Coke or Dr. Pepper bottles. And then I got a bad gash in my leg. And of course, the worst injury was my neck, because when that car came back down after flying even with the trees, it popped all 4 tires. That is how hard it hit when it came down. And I was in the hospital for a couple of weeks with that, and I was in a traction for my neck. So my neck has never been right since then. So let's see, the next accident was when I was coming home from, I guess it's the midnight, no, it was 3 to 11 shift, that's right. And I was in an LTD2 special edition, a 78, a gorgeous car, and I slid on the black ice and ran into a Corvette. And this little piece of my bone in my nose got broken, and my whole face hit the steering wheel. Now, I did not have my seatbelt on either one of those times, and I missed a little bit of work. This whole face was like bruised. And yeah, I still did not wear my seatbelt. You know, it amazes me. So other than me sniffing a lot, people want to know why I sniff sometimes. Well, it's because I have this broken little piece of bone right there. But other than that, I think I've gotten out of that habit. So let's see. When was the next accident? Let's see. I think I was going over a hill, and this lady in front of me stopped dead in the middle of the road, and I threw on my brakes, and I figured she had enough time to react, go to one side of the road or the other, and she didn't. And I found out in court that she was deaf, you know. But then the airbag went off. I smacked, of course, this time the airbag. That car happened to have an airbag. The other ones never did, because this was way back in the 70s. But the airbag went off on me, and I remember that airbag stuff, the powder was burning me. I mean, I was at the scene of the accident. They pulled me out, and I kept saying to the EMTs, please get some water and douse my arms, because it was burning so bad. Okay, then, let's see. Then, when I was living in Florida, I got run over by a car. I went out to the middle of the road because 2 of my wiener dogs had gotten out, and I was trying to tell the lady, you know, slow down, slow down. I was in the middle of the road. She had plenty of time to react, but she didn't. She was not paying attention, and she ran right over top of me. This whole side of my face went through her windshield, and my leg hit the front fender of her car and did $2,500 worth of damage. So you can imagine that impact of that. She was going like 35, 40 miles an hour, and I was standing still. So I have stitches in this eye. You can't really see it now. And this whole side of my face was just crushed. And I remember being put in the ambulance, and by the time I got to the hospital in Melbourne, Florida, I thought Muhammad Ali had beat me up. I mean, this whole side of my face was black and blue, and I had to wear a patch. They did sew me up. My leg was this swollen. I mean, one of my legs, yeah, this swollen. And I remember when I got out of the hospital, I found out from my attorney that the lady was driving a new car with no insurance. And in Florida, if you don't have uninsured motorist, you are asking for it, because thank God mine had kicked in because she had none, and paid for my medical bills. So yeah, I was on crutches for the first time in my life. And I believe the impact, I got thrown 25 feet because I was a pedestrian. My shoes flew off. I was thrown 25 feet, and the impact of me landing on my right hip, I think that's what caused my right hip to deteriorate faster than the other one, because the other one is okay for a little while. So I remember laying in the bed and feeling so lonely because no one, was there to take care of me. My husband was at work, and my leg was swollen so bad from the contusions. It was swollen for like a month. It was just awful. I could hardly bathe myself. So let's see. I think that's enough. So when people ask me what's wrong with me, that's some of the problem, and I think the rest is I inherited my mother's, I think it's degenerative disc disease, but I cope. I take care of myself. I can work maybe 17 hours a week, and so I think I'm doing great for someone who's gone through everything that I have in my life. But I do wear my seatbelt religiously, and I don't get in a car with anybody that I don't think drives safe. It makes me pretty nervous. So I hope that explains a lot to you guys who want to know why I'm disabled. And if you see me out on the street, I look just like everybody else. I can do just about anything else, but not for very long. And if I do something that I shouldn't have, I pay for it the next day. Yes, I do pay for it. So any of you all that are apprehensive about having operations, the medical field has so improved. The minute like I had my hip replaced, no pain at all. I mean, it was just gone. And the problem with my back is when you repair like part of the discs, because I had the herniated and a slip, then the rest of your back takes the brunt, and it also will start, doing some crazy things. But I am glad I had both surgeries, because my quality of life would have really been bad. So I hope this has helped any of you guys contemplating surgery. Now, I do know for a fact that knee replacement is much more of a recovery than the hip. My hip, I didn't need any rehab. I didn't need any physical therapy. I am so happy with it. I really want to get my other hip done. I can ride a bike, and but I have good days and bad days. The bad days are usually when it gets really cold. When it gets cold, it really does affect my body. So good night, everybody. Bye.